Augusta's not letting any grass grow under her feet, is she? Lionel's not even a dim memory.
You have any idea who she's with?
Well, yeah, that's Stanfield Lee. J. Stanfield Lee himself. J stands for Jack, I believe.
Didn't mean anything to me.
Whoa, big-time lawyer, presidential advisor, offices in New York, Washington, L.A., now Santa Barbara. Ambulances chase him.
Sounds impressive.
Yeah, it is. It should all happen to me. Any of it should happen to me.
It will. You'll get back on your feet. This is just a temporary setback.
You know what a secret is? He's smart and tough and ruthless and single. So where did I go wrong?
Can't imagine.
Not ruthless enough, that's my problem.
You could have fooled me.
With Augusta, fascinated she is with him. Bet she'd love for Lionel to come in and see the two of them like that. Or wouldn't she just? Oh, excuse me, that phone's not really out of order. Go ahead and use it.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Hello, Augusta.
Mason.
Running the kind of fast company these days, aren't you?
Jack and I happen to be old acquaintances. What business is it of yours?
Well, I have a business offer for you, Augusta. How would you like for Lionel to see the two of you together for a small fee? I can arrange it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come now, Augusta. You know you'd love to make Lionel jealous.
If you think I give a fig what Lionel thinks...
No, Augusta, this is Mason you're talking to. For a mere $100, I can make sure that Lionel shows up here and sees you with your latest conquest. I'll need $50 deposit, however.
Oh, that is pathetic. You've really fallen on hard times, haven't you, Mason?
Well, there's no shame in being poor, Augusta, only a great deal of discomfort. Do we have a deal or not?
I feel like I'm making a pact with the devil. If you dare tell Lionel I put you up to this, I will deny it categorically.
Oh, don't worry, Augusta. We lawyers operate on a principle of confidentiality. As long as my bill is paid, my lips are sealed.
That isn't confidentiality, that's blackmail. Well, if you're going, you better make it quick. Jack can't wait all day.
The gods themselves never had a swifter messenger.
Where are you off to?
Just made a very shrewd business deal. I got to run one quick errand, and I'll make another $50.
Is that why Augusta was giving you money? You're going to run an errand for her?
I can't discuss details now, Ted. I have work to do.
What is it? What did Mommy want to tell me?
Sweetheart, it's just that Eden wants you to know how happy I am to be Cece's new wife, that's all.
I know that.
None of this has anything to do with Brandon. Part of me is closer to him than you are, if you think about it. Why should I want to hurt him?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's all right, sweetheart, it really is. Why don't you just run along and play?
Okay.
That's all right, Brandon.
How could you? He is just a child. You really could have hurt him.
I realize that. That's why I didn't say anything.
You know, Eden, I don't care who his natural parents are. Brandon is more my son than Santana's or Channing's. And even if he is Cece's grandson, Cece loves me for myself.
How could he not love you? Let me count the ways.
Remember one thing. I'm the lady of the house now. And if there are any decisions to be made around here, I'm gonna make them. Whether it's as trivial as what time we have dinner, or as important as who lives here with us. From the flowers in the vases to the guests at the table. It's my household now, and I'm gonna run it.
Just don't try to make any decisions for me.
I'll make all the decisions, Eden. All of them.
You know, it's like my daddy says. You can put a beggar on horseback and he'll run you down every time.
Then you stay out of my way.
That's fresh. Just a minute.
Ah, if it isn't the poor man's poor man.
That isn't kind, but I'll let it pass. I have a proposition you may find interesting, Lionel.
Yeah, I doubt it, but go ahead.
Well, for a price, a very modest price, I'll tell you where your high-spirited wife is at the moment.
How much?
A mere $100, the 10th part of 1,000.
Not interested. Why don't you go sell encyclopedias?
Oh, come now, Lionel. She's with another man at this very moment. I think you'll find her choice fascinating. I tell you what, I'll settle for $50, but that's it.
Is there anything you wouldn't sell?
I'm resisting seashells by the seashore, but it may come to that. The times are temporarily out of joint.
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Lionel. Show a little morbid curiosity about who Augusta's dating these days. I know you still care.
Really? How do you know that?
Because you're that kind of guy. I'd bet my lunch money on it.
All right. This is less out of curiosity than charity for you. Mason, you said $50?
$50.
$50. Where is the nymph errant?
At the State Street Bistro at a table for two.
Across the table from whom?
Oh, you'll have to find that out for yourself. But I'd suggest you hurry.
It's interesting that my secretary and your chauffeur have such a close relationship, isn't it?
I'd rather not discuss Brick Wallace if you don't mind. I am really fed up with the power that he exerts over my mother-in-law. Do you know that she lets him buy and sell stocks without even consulting me?
Really? That is interesting. How do you suppose he and Amy met?
Oh, I don't know. The call of the wild. You know, we almost had something like that, remember? I always wondered what might happen if Lionel hadn't been around.
Paradise Lost,
Yes,
Augusta.
indeed. Do you remember what you used to call me?
I called you so many things.
Well, I mean that very special thing that you had engraved on that cigarette case you gave me.
Oh, that of... Do you still have that, the cigarette case?
Oh, no. I didn't want Lionel to find it and ask me all sorts of embarrassing questions.
You're right,
I gave
you're
it to a friend.
I would not have been too discreet. You haven't changed a bit since those days. Do you know that?
Oh, it's very sweet of you to say
No,
that.
I mean it. I think of, was it Thomas Hardy? A face on which time makes but little impression.
Meine kleine Nachtmusik.
Beg your pardon?
That's it.
That's what? That's Mozart. Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Is that what you mean?
No, Jack, that's what I'm talking about, what you used to call me. My little night music. Remember?
Oh, of course, that's right. How could I have forgotten a thing like that? Here, have some more coffee.
I don't know. How did you forget that? You had it engraved.
I tell you, Augusta, I have become so absent-minded. Sometimes I'm genuinely worried about it, but you are absolutely right. Age is no excuse for a memory lapse like that, and I promise you I will not forget it ever again. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't hit it off better with your son.
Well, no, I wanted to apologize. I don't know what was wrong with Warren. He's never been that rude.
Well, he's obviously very, very deeply involved with Maggie Gillis's case.
Yes, he does form very deep attachments and loyalties. But I'm inclined to agree with you. I don't see how she can win a lawsuit against the Capwells. I mean, that injury to her husband was tragic, but to get restitution from the Capwell Enterprises...
I suppose you know that your son wrote quite an article in the Sentinel attacking the Capwells.
Yes, I know. In that respect, I'm very proud of him. I mean, he's not afraid. He goes with what he believes in. I was a little worried about where he was going. I mean, I didn't think he had any direction, but now I think he's finding himself.
It's hard to know what you want when you're that young. Some of us never find out.
It's true.
There, now that didn't take long, did it?
You know, I've been thinking about this ever since you took off.
Thinking about what, Ted?
Well, I hate to see you scrounging for money this way, Mason.
You don't hate it any more than I do.
I mean, it's demeaning.
Can't argue with that.
Yesterday, you asked me if I'd lend you $250.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm not gonna let you borrow any money from me, Mason.
I see.
I just put together $500, and I have it in cash, and I want to give it to you. No interest, no prepayment plan, just an outright gift. From brother to brother.
Thanks, Ted. It means a lot to me. Been a long time since anybody was that good to me.
Well, I don't see where it's especially good to help your own brother out of a jam. I'm just sorry I don't have more to give you.
Believe me, it means more to me than $10,000 would coming from a stranger. Yeah, it's a slight exaggeration, but it means a lot.
You're welcome.
I won't forget this, Ted. I promise. Ooh, well, there he is now. Excuse me, Ted. Lionel, I'd be careful if I were you. Mr. Lee will drive you into the ground like a wicket.
Out of my way, Mason. You got what you wanted. Hello, Augusta.
Matt, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? I just wanted to see what kind of a vulture is trying to make time with my wife.
Jack, I am so sorry. I don't know how to apologize for this boorish, unseemly behavior. I am just appalled. I'm...
Just appalled? Well, the princess of etiquette may have neglected to tell you that we are only temporarily separated. We're about to get back together. So if I were you, I'd go for happier hunting grounds. Besides, otherwise you will be wasting your time and money because she's very expensive to feed, you know. She loves beluga caviar.
Excuse me.
Who are you? And how did you get in here?
I came in through the tunnel. I'm Cruz Castillo, the Santa Barbara Police Department. I need to ask you a few questions about the tunnel, if you don't mind.
Oh, I don't know what she's thinking of.
What was that about?
That's Kelly. I just talked to the doctor back east. She hasn't been seeing him like she should. I thought she and I had an agreement.
Oh, I see.
You don't sound as if you think it's important. Honey, the family has gone back to Boston, and she's left alone in Bermuda. She's not taking care of herself.
Of course it's important, but she's a big girl now. She can take care of herself.
She hasn't written or she hasn't even called. And frankly, I'm afraid that she's planning to stay away.
Well, there comes a time when they all will have to leave the nest, Cece.
No, not my daughters, not Kelly. I've got her back, and I'm going to keep her. I'm going to try to reach her.
Can that wait? I have to talk to you about something.
No, it can't wait, Gina. Besides, I can't think of anything else until I get this thing settled.
Well, I guess I'll just have to wait now, won't I?
She just won't take proper care of herself. Tried to get her to go to the doctor time and time again. Oh, the line's busy. And I'll try again. I'm going to have this out with her. Now, what is it you wanted to talk to me? Gina? Where are you?
I had a few minutes between planes, Kelly, and I wanted to let you know that I'm on my way. I'll be in Bermuda shortly. Kelly, listen to me. I know that you're feeling anxious, but you won't have to wait much longer now. No, don't be silly. I told you that I would come to you any time that you needed me. It's no imposition at all. All right, be patient a little longer, and I'll be ringing your doorbell. Bye, Kelly. If Kelly needs me, I'm going to help her. And I don't care what C.C. Capwell thinks about it.
There you go.
Thank you for lunch, Jack. I just hope you remember we had it together.
Oh, you're not going to let me forget that I forgot. Are you? Come on.
Augusta, I need to talk to you, if you don't mind.
Again?
The need strikes me frequently.
Do you know Stanfield Lee? This is Mason Capwell.
Well, I know Mr. Lee by reputation, of course.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Capwell. You must be one of Cece's boys, is that right?
You're right, one of the boys.
Augusta, I'll wait for you outside.
Thanks, Jack. I'll just be a minute.
Pleasure to meet you, Mason.
Mm-hmm, all mine.
I suppose you want the rest of your money.
If you don't mind, I also know a place where you can watch Lionel without him knowing you're there.
You do where? Well, not that I care. I'm just curious.
Well, it's quite a good vantage point. For another $100, I'll be happy to show it to you.
What are you trying to do? Make me go bankrupt $100 at a time?
Only trying to eke out a minimal existence, Augusta. It seems preferable to selling pencils at this point.
Why don't you just get a monkey and an organ to grind and go into business in a really big way?
Now, I leave the organ grind to you, Augusta. Do you need to, do you want to know the spot or not?
Well, I don't know. I'll think about it and let you know.
Uh-huh.
Mason, I need to talk to you.
Well, by all means, I'm honored. Please have a seat.
I had a run-in with Gina. And I told her about Santana and Channing being Brandon's parents.
You what? What'd you do a fool thing like that for?
You mean you knew all along?
Well, of course I did. Eden, what a stupid thing to do.
Well, she practically picked a fight with me. I mean, and then she was so arrogant and sure of herself with Daddy. I mean, I had to say something, Mason.
You just couldn't stand to see her being so happy, did you? There's no telling what this is going to affect.
Affect? Affect what? And I don't see why you're so angry with me.
Did it ever occur to you that Dad didn't want Gina to find out about Brandon? Why he's kept it secret all these years?
Well, he should have told us a long time ago. He shouldn't keep secrets from us like that. What kind of family does that?
The average American family, I'm afraid. Well, I guess we can move a cot into Kelly's and let you move in with Ted and me, because as soon as he finds out about this, Eden, he's going to throw you out of the house just like he did Ted and me.
Well, he didn't throw out Ted. Ted wanted to leave.
Yes, Ted wanted to leave, but under duress. You watch, all hell's going to break loose over this, Eden.
Oh, well, I don't believe you.
I wonder if I can use this to my advantage. Maybe
for heaven's sakes, Mason, just leave it alone. Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I know what I'm doing, Eden. You're the one that seems to be flying blind.
Excuse me. Miss Capwell, your father just called. He wants you to come home right away.
Well, he doesn't want me to talk to him?
No, he said you're supposed to go straight home.
Thank you, Frank. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Well, I know how to handle Daddy. It's a pity you don't. You wouldn't be in this much trouble now.
Be interesting to see how much trouble you're in when all this is over. My guess is it'll be plenty. Well, that was quick.
I just want to know what you were talking about. What do you mean there's a spot where I could watch Lionel and not be seen? How can you arrange such a thing?
I fulfilled my end of the bargain the first time, didn't I?
Yes.
Well, I will again. But you have to pay my fee, half in advance.
I feel like I'm being taken by a city slicker.
Now, Augusta, you aren't at all. I have something you need, and I can supply it, that's all.
All right, Mason. Let's just see what you have to offer.
I remember you now. When you were a little nipper, you used to come knocking at my door asking for any odd jobs that you might do so you could make some extra money for your parents.
That's right, I did. And you used to let me do things around here. I hauled trash for you. I remember washing these windows several times. You were a great deal of help.
Yes, and then you stopped coming around.
Well, I got into other things.
I remember something else about you now. It was last August, I think. You helped with an oil spill, thereby by saving the wildlife and the beaches.
Yes.
Yes, I liked that.
Well, thank you. Recently, I went to work for the Santa Barbara Police Department, and I'm trying to make good there.
Well, I'm sure you will. But I don't want you to abuse my friendship by asking any impertinent questions about the tunnel.
Unfortunately, Mrs. Lockridge, I have to. You see, that's part of my job. I need to find out who built the tunnel and how many people knew about it. It has to do with an investigation we're conducting.
What kind of investigation?
Well, a long time ago, several robberies took place at the Capitol residence that were never solved, and we're just trying to track down whoever it was that might have been responsible for those.
I don't believe you. You wouldn't be investigating now robberies that happened years ago. I won't answer until you give me the truth.
Well, in all honesty, that's all I can tell you. We're not telling anyone everything.
Well, then, come back when you can tell me.
Mrs. Lockridge, I would hate to have to subpoena you, but I can.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm just trying to do whatever is necessary to get answers to my questions, which I have to have. I would much rather do this pleasantly.
Lionel's grandfather and Cece's grandfather built that tunnel, long ago, before the turn of the century.
Is that how Lionel found out about it?
I don't know. Maybe his father told him, I don't know.
Did you ever use the tunnel yourself?
Young man, I'm going to have to ask you to leave now.
Well, when you refuse to answer my questions, that just makes me more curious. Now, I find it difficult to believe that you might have been involved in the smuggling and other illegal activities that went down in that tunnel in the 20s. At least, I hope you weren't.
Now you are becoming impertinent. Please go now.
All right, I'll leave if you insist. But I want you to know that I am going to find out what I need to know. So if you change your mind and decide you would like to cooperate, please don't hesitate to call. Here's my number.
I have nothing more to say to you.
Just in case, I would prefer to get this information voluntarily if I can. Thank you for your time.
Here we are, isn't it lovely? Watching it for a friend of mine who happens to be out of town at the moment. Clear view of the harbor and your yacht, or Lionel's yacht, depending on your lawyers.
Oh, you're right. This is wonderful. Yes, it's very good, very good. Mason, I need to go home for a minute.
How long will you be gone?
Well, it shouldn't take me longer than a half-hour round trip. I really appreciate you bringing me here.
Well, thank you, Augusta, but dollars speak louder than words.
You're referring to the balance I owe you.
Exactly. Thank you, Augusta. Feel free to use my services anytime you need them.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be back in a minute.
Good. Good. That gives me 30 minutes to get back to Lionel. I do declare I'm running myself ragged.
Honey, it would help me a great deal if you would fly down to Bermuda and bring Kelly back home with you.
Well, do you really think that's necessary?
Well, I would go myself, but I got a couple of things pending and I just can't get away from them. Will you help me?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have some work to do, but I guess it could go on hold. Are you still worried because she's not seeing her psychiatrist?
Yes. When do you think you can leave?
Well, I could pack some things and then leave today if you want me to.
All right, I'll get the plane checked out and make sure it's all ready. I want Kelly back home with us, safe, living with us.
Okay, Daddy. You can count on me.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You know, Lionel, there are other services I can perform, too.
Such as?
Well, for another $100, I could tell you about people who may be spying on you. Believe me, they're all around. They can see everything you do.
You know these people for a fact?
Indeed, I do.
Well, you'll be wanting another payment, the same thing, I suppose?
Yes, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Who and where?
Come here. That bluff? On that bluff up there? In about 15 minutes, I'd say, there will be eyes trained upon you.
And whose eyes will be trained upon me?
For another $50, I'll be happy to tell you.
Forget it. I already know who it is. Augusta, the eyes and ears of the world.
Right you are.
I'll let her spy all she likes. She'll regret it. Yep, it's Augusta. Wonder how she found that place. It's perfect to spy on me. All right. Let's really give her something to look at. Sally? Sally, this is Lionel Lockridge. Yeah, I'm fine here. How are you? Well, that's good. Well, I was wondering what you and Hortense and Hildegard are doing right now. Really? Well, then, would you think about coming down to the boat and joining me here? Yeah, spend a little time with me. Right. Yeah, all three of you. I promise I'll make it worth your while.
Sweetheart, you know how much Mommy loves you and needs you, don't you?
Yes?
Well, good. And you know that no matter what happens, I'm your mother, and you can always count on me.
What's going to happen, Mommy?
Oh, nothing, sweetheart. I don't mean anything's going to happen. I mean, just in case it does, I want you to know that I'll always be here for you.
Okay.
I'll be right back. Yes, hello. This is she. Oh, good, thank you. Sweetheart, it's Mommy's doctor, so you can run and play if you want.
Okay.
Yes, hello. Thank you for calling me back. Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you again about refilling the prescription for my pain pills. I only have 1 or 2 left. I know you were going to give me something different, but I don't think that would be strong enough. I've been having severe pain since I saw you last. No, I don't need to come in for another examination. I just need some more pills. Well, I really don't understand your objection because you gave them to me in the first place. I need some more of them, that's all. Well, I see, but... Well, maybe I should go to another doctor, but I don't think my husband would be too happy about that. All right, oh, never mind. Thank you very much. Damn it. It's all right. I can make it without them. I will make it without them.
Cruz. Holy. He's a lousy housekeeper if somebody's been here. What a mess. Well. A letter to Channing. What would Cruz be doing with...
Baby, how come the door's open? So what the hell's going on here?
Take it easy, Cruz. I found it this way. I've been here about 30 seconds. The door was open, so I walked in.
Well, did you see anybody else around?
No, not a soul. What were they looking for, do you know? How long you been gone?
Since this morning.
You don't have an alarm system or something.
Yeah, somebody knows about a case I'm working on. I guess they want to check my progress.
Channing's murder, you mean? Well, don't look so surprised, Cruz. I've known you were working on it ever since I caught you in the study that day.
You didn't tell anybody about that, did you, Mason?
No one. Well, almost no one. I told Eden. I thought I knew what you were up to, but I wasn't sure.
Excuse me.
Why reopen Channing's murder? Peter Flint confessed to that, didn't he? Or don't confessions impress you?
I don't want to go into that with you, Mason. It's none of your business.
Have it your way.
Don't mind if I do, thanks.
But if I were you, Cruz, I'd tread lightly. I have a feeling you could be getting into some real trouble. Danger, even if you'll forgive the melodrama.
Danger's part of my job, man.
I'm serious, Cruz. I think you better be very careful.
Is that a warning?
I believe it is.
He's having some kind of orgy in there. Well, who does that surprise? Probably making up for lost time. 3 at once? Who's he kidding? No one, that's the problem.
Thank you all for coming.
Oh, anything for you, Lionel. You know that.
Oh, really? Well, now there is one last thing I'd like to ask.
Well, I appreciate your being so prompt, Jack.
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you, CC. It's been a long time since our last meeting.
Much too long. I'm in the hopes that you and I can do some business together.
Really? Well, it's always a pleasure to find new accounts or renew old ones. What'd you have in mind?
Well, I would like your firm to handle all my Indonesian oil negotiations. Does that interest you?
Well, it would interest me a lot, yes, except that I've been appointed advisor to the president on strategic materials, and I think in good conscience I can't take that kind of thing on, you understand?
Of course. Congratulations. I regret it, but that's wonderful news.
In fact, I leave tonight for Europe and the Far East on a fact-finding mission, and when I come back, I report to the president when he next vacations in Santa Barbara.
How long will you be gone?
2 weeks.
Well, I hope you have a good trip.
Thank you. Oh, look, CC, I think I ought to tell you, Warren Lockridge has taken more than just a casual interest in this lawsuit that Maggie Gillis wants to bring against Capwell Enterprises. I rejected it when they brought it to me, but young Lockridge is a tenacious fellow, and I don't think he's going to give up on it.
Well, I don't worry anything about what the Lockridges might do. They're more like gadflies than a source of concern.
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't dismiss it out of hand. I've looked into the matter, and to tell you the truth, they may have a case against your company. A judge might rule in their favor.
You sincerely think so?
Well, from what they tell me, if certain key witnesses are found and a bright attorney takes the case, well, let's just say it might prove embarrassing for Capwell Enterprises.
Well, I never gave the matter any credence. In fact, my attorneys told me just to forget about it.
Well, you know, I'm just telling you what I think, Cece. In my opinion, the situation bears watching.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Let's go to the living room. I think Rosa has some hors d'oeuvres.
That wretch. That heathen.
Hello?
Minx, it's me. I'm down at the marina. I'd like you to come down here right away.
Me? Why?
Because something is going on the boat, and I think you ought to know about it.
Augusta, it can sink for all I care.
Minx, it involves Lionel, and it's urgent. I want you to come down here at once.
What, has something happened?
Well, he isn't hurt, but he may well end up that way. Now, please, just get down here as quickly as you can.
Well, I'll have Rick drive me right over.
At least they didn't get that.
Spring cleaning?
Oh, yeah, spring cleaning. You can help if you want, but don't stand around and make cracks.
No, the last time I saw you, you were at the house, and then you just disappeared. Did you go in the tunnel or something?
Yeah, I did, and then I went over to the Lockridges.
What happened to this place?
I think somebody found out about an investigation I'm working on. And don't touch the desk area until the fingerprint guys come, will you? Obviously, I gotta get some decent security around here.
Did they find what they wanted?
I don't know. What do you want?
I came to say goodbye.
Say what?
Well, so long for a while. I am going to Bermuda for the afternoon.
Bermuda for the afternoon? It's nice.
No, I'm gonna go pick up Kelly. Daddy asked me to.
Does she know she wants to come home now?
Well, she will. And we're both gonna live at the house, no matter what Gina says. Can't tell you how angry I get at that woman, how much I hate her.
What happened this time?
Oh, she just got really bitchy with me. Started telling me this was her house and I had to live by her rules and it was gonna be her decisions. And if I didn't like it, I could just move out.
Well, I doubt you let that pass without a word or two. Or did you just kill her on the spot?
No. But I did tell her why she was there.
What does that mean? What'd you tell her?
I told her that Santana and Channing were Brandon's parents.
You told her what?
Don't yell at me. Mason already did.
Well, he was damn right to have done so. I told you that was a secret.
I never promised not to say anything.
You knew that I didn't want you to
promised.
say anything. You knew that.
Well, I couldn't just let Gina go on.
I don't believe this. You betrayed me. And Santana's trusting me.
I couldn't let Gina win.
You had no right to do that. I trusted you and I asked you not to tell anybody about that.
I told you I didn't promise.
Oh, you did? Would you keep your fingers crossed behind your back, I suppose, huh? That took you off the hook? I'll be damned if I'm gonna tell you anything again.
You know, you're being completely insensitive to my situation.
Your situation. I'm so sorry. Yes, Gina moves in and dares to compete with you for the affections of your father. I'm sorry if that doesn't rank on my list of all-time earth-shaking personal tragedies.
Well, I don't care what you think.
No, you don't, do you? You don't care what anybody thinks except yourself. That's because you're selfish and petty and immature. Now, if I left out thoughtless and destructive, I'm sorry, because you're those things too.
Well, if you don't like it, you know what you can do with it.
Huh, yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, I know what I can do with it.
What's that? What do you think you're doing with that?
I'm getting rid of it.
What did you just do?
I'll pay you back for the ring if you want me to. But it's gone. And anything that we had has gone along with it.
I don't believe it. She flushed it.
I'm glad I found out the truth about Brandon. And that's not the reason Cece married me. He didn't have to marry me for that. He loves me. He wanted to marry me.
I suppose that's true up to a point.
Mason, don't make me nervous.
Gina, let me give you some advice. If you slip up and displease Dad in any way, you'll be out of here so fast it'll make your head spin. He'll keep Brandon. You'll be on the outside looking in, cut off from Brandon, Dad, and all the money.
He can't do that. Brandon is my adopted child. I have a right to him.
Yes, but it's an adoption that was arranged by Dad. And what CC hath joined together, he can put asunder. Don't think he can't.
He can't do that. Brandon is my little boy. He can't take him away from me.
Oh, then you're a very naive young woman, considering your experience. As a lawyer, I can tell you, Gina, there are a number of ways he can.
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
All right, Gina, we don't have to bring the whole neighborhood in on this. Actually, you may not be in such bad shape. You are pregnant, after all. That should keep Dad from running too far amok.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. You're just upsetting me.
Why don't you take a tranquilizer or something?
Don't tell me what to do. I don't have to take any pills. I don't take pills. Why don't you just go on about your business and I'll deal with my own problems?
I think that's a good idea. But, try to deal with them calmly, okay?
If only I were pregnant. Really pregnant. I can't keep lying like this. If only I had that to hold him with. Oh, no. It's the last of them.
Okay, Sally, you be my partner.
Oh, okay.
And then the next round, I'll take Hortense and you and Hildegard can play together. Okay, girl?
Yes.
My own son.
Mother, what are you doing here?
Excuse me, I'm looking for Miss Kelly Capwell. Do you happen to know what room she's in?
Yes, sir. She's in room 110, right over there.
Thank you very much.
And here you are, Frank. I hope this will put to rest any doubts you have about my being able to pay my tabs.
Certainly will. Thanks for cleaning it up.
Since you've been so understanding, this is for you.
Thanks, Mason.
Now, how about that drink I ordered?
Look, Mason, I know this is none of my business, but you've been boozing it up pretty good here lately.
Frank, I'm touched. You're worried about my health. Now, how about my drink?
Coming up.
Amazing how a little money greases the wheel.
I'm glad things are looking up for you.
You're no more glad than I am, Frank. Cheers. See, what have we here? A letter addressed to Channing. And what is Cruz doing with Channing's mail? It's a letter from Lindsay Smith. I know him. Huh. Why was he writing Channing? My darling Channing? No, I don't believe that. That's some kind of joke. Oh, no. No, it's a love letter. Yes. It's a love letter written by Lindsay Smith to Channing.